Good day, everyone. This is Madeline Campaner,
And this is Mariam Chal B. Carino.
and for today's video, I am going to put some insights and knowledge about social interaction theory.
Lev S. Vygotsky is the man behind the social interaction theory. He was born on the 5th of November 1896 in a small Russian town. He died on June 11, 1934, at the age of 37 because of tuberculosis. He enrolled medicine as his profession allowed Jews to practice outside the Jewish settlement. However, when he decided medicine wasn't for him, he transferred law, in which he graduated at the year 1917 in Moscow University. After World War II, he was active in social participation and involved in the Bolshevik government. And during the early 1930s, he introduced the zone of proximal development and, of course, the social interaction theory. And now, let's talk about the social interaction theory, sometimes referred to social development theory. From the word itself, social interaction, which means exchange between two or more individuals, then this theory is about interacting one another. According to Vygotsky, social interaction plays a fundamental role in learning. The cognitive development originates within social interaction. The social interaction influences what we think about, how we think, our higher mental functions, and the language development or the communication. In social interaction theory, a developing child needs social interaction to develop skills like reasoning, memory, attention, and language. For example, in answering a phone call, when the phone rings, you exhibit many cognitive functions you learn because of social interaction with a parent or other adult. In this example, there are five skills being developed by the child. We have the perception, the decision making, the motor skills, the language skills, and the social skills. As can you see, the five skills are the stages when you exhibit to answer the phone call. The main points of this theory are: children can construct knowledge, learning can lead to development, development cannot be separated from its social context, and language plays a central role in mental development. This theory recognizes the important role language plays in learning, the art of communication and relating egocentric speech and the inner speech. Egocentric speech is the transition from the social activity of children to a more individualized activity which involves thinking until they're able to overcome difficulties. In egocentric speech, children speak to themselves for self guidance and self direction. In this time, language is the foundation for all complex needed activities. When children get older and tasks becomes easier, their self-directed speech declines and it's being internalized. In inner speech, egocentric speech that has been internalized and which develops intellectual capacities. Inner speech is not the interior aspect of external speech. It is a function itself. It still remains speech through connected with words. In the process of social interaction, we have seeing, jointly doing, and lastly, the independently doing. Seeing, when you see an adult doing things. Jointly doing, when you do things together. Independently doing when you gain enough skill to do the activity. For example, when you were young, you saw your older sister or mother doing makeup. Knowing you idolized them, you asked them to teach you how to do makeup, and then you do it together. Vygotsky felt that social learning precedes development. He states that every function in the child's cultural development appears twice, first on the social level and later on the individual level. First between people, which is interpsychological, and then inside the child, which is intrapsychological. And the zone of proximal development will be discussed by Madeline.
So the zone of proximal development is the distance between the actual development level is being determined by independent problem solving and the level of potential development being also determined through problem solving under adult guidance or in collaboration with a capability. So the zone development is comparing comparing the learning development between with the guidance of a more knowledgeable other or an adult with to the to the to your performance or to your output being with your peers. So the zone of proximal development have five meanings. So the first meaning was the difference between what a learner can do without help and what a learner can do with help. So this the first meaning was comparing about the performance or the learners that the knowledge that the learner accumulates without the help of anyone or for example in a classroom setting the progress or the knowledge that the learner accumulates from a teacher and what a learner can accumulate with his own or with his own perception or with his own understanding and learning. So the second is the difference between what a learner can achieve without assistance and what a learner cannot do at all. So in this, it talks about what a learner can achieve independently and what he cannot do at all, even if he is being provided with all that assistance he needs to. So this tackles about how or how how wide the capacity of a learner to do those things or to accumulate those knowledge by his own and what are his capacities. So the third where was the sweet part or the learner grows with the help of more knowledgeable others like mother, sister, brother, and teacher. So it tackles about how the learner grows with the guidance of others. So the fourth is the ZPD moves as the learner gains more knowledge through the process of social interaction. We cannot deny that in social interaction we learn a lot. So in this case, the zone proximal development was being changed or was being process was getting widened through the process of social interaction. So the fifth meaning of of proximal development is the performance is the level of the performance of the learner with the guidance the and the and the capability of the learner to carry out similar activities on their own. It talks about the guidance of the adult and the performance of the child on his own. So examples where a baby learns how to eat. So since the baby were since you're doing with you do you jointly does eating. So the baby can now learn, can now know how to eat. So just like a baby house to crawl. So because as I say as earlier, you do it jointly. So a child learns how to bike. A child learns how to read. A teen learns how to drive. An adult learns about the foundation of education. So these things were the the this these learnings are coming from the adult that being done jointly, and then later on it has been internalized by the baby or the learner. Okay, so here is the illustration of the ZPD, or the of proximal development. So let's start from what I can do. So here is we can really say that maybe you were doubting yourself on you can tell to yourself that I cannot do these things just like that. But later on, with the help of the more knowledgeable other, you know what it needs to be done. You already know what needs, but what are the knowledge that it need, but um you still need others for you to perform successfully. So through the help of others, you can now do tasks appropriately. You know where you are right now, and you can independently um, carry out tasks with your own. So next is the process of ZPD. So the process of ZPD starts with social interaction with more knowledgeable others. Through social interaction with more knowledgeable others, you really know things. I mean, you acquire knowledge from them, and with that, you learn, and that and that and because you learn, you're now down to new mastery of a skill. So because it is not just enough that you learn from that interaction, but it's also vital to carry out those learnings, to execute those learnings for you to grow. And then the last is the classroom application with three examples. So the three example the three classroom application were reciprocal teaching, scaffolding, and collaborative learning. The reciprocal teaching was the collaborations of teachers and students until the learners had successfully acquired the knowledge. So that is the reciprocal teaching. Then the scaffolding teacher is the teacher or the more knowledgeable others provide assistance or guides a learner until it could acquire enough knowledge for him to carry out tasks on his own. That is the scaffolding. And then the collaborative learning is you learn from the collaborative learning is also called as brainstorming, meaning in a group you learn from each other, you share ideas, and out of your ideas that is being shared within the group, you learn it individually. So meaning you you are carrying out the task on your own. So next is the illustration of how the classroom interaction is being carried out. So here it is being shown here that here the teacher interaction with the learner. So here's the task, that there the circle, the outer circle, the inner circle. It shows that the the classroom application that will apply into the interaction. So according to Liv Simonich live as Vygotsky. Through others, we become ourselves. So, I would end this lecture video. I would end this lecture video uh, by telling you these quotes from Live as Vygotsky. Through others, we become ourselves, and the true direction of development of thinking is not from the individual to the social, but the social to individual. So, so that's all for this video. I hope you had understand, or I hope we had helped you to understand about social interaction and zone proximal development.
Again, good day and keep safe, everyone. Thank you.